everyone I contact, recognizing each person on my path as another individualization of the divine. And I absorb the peace that comes with this knowing and allow it to flow through me in creating a life of harmony, love, beauty, and joy. And as we come together today, we enhance this knowing, we expand this recognition, and greater well-being flows through us in our life because of it. I give thanks for our time together today, knowing it is positive and expanding, and so it is. And let's begin together with a group reading, which is here. We can all join in together. I am ready to deepen my conviction in the power and presence for good. I am ready to apply it in my daily life. I am ready to receive God's highest blessings. I am ready to live from a higher level of beingness. I am ready to be a transformative light in the world. Thank you. In following our tradition, we celebrate truth however it comes, and we'd like to celebrate to begin with some of the major truth traditions. And Rose has volunteered to come up and light the candles of faith this morning. This center is based on the knowledge that there's one great universal presence, which we call God. And we start this gathering by acknowledging there are multiple names and paths to this one, which unifies us, not divides us. Please join me in honoring the unifying nature of spiritual thought and experiences as we light the flames of faith, acknowledging all people in all faiths. We light the candle of the Tao, honoring the universal path of harmony and equilibrium, the natural way. We light the candle for Hinduism, honoring the path of knowledge, action, and devotion. We light the candle for Judaism, honoring the ethical path of living by sacred law. We light the candle for all forms of Buddhism, honoring the Four Noble Truths and the path of compassion. We light the candle for all forms of Christianity, honoring the Christ consciousness as the path of love. We light the candle for all forms of Islam, honoring the path of submission to the will of God as the highest calling. And now we invite you to take a moment and light that candle within for all forms of New Thought, honoring the metaphysical path of wholeness, oneness, and mental healing through the practice of universal spiritual principles. Thank you, Rose. And Dustin has an inspirational reading for us today.
Put the ball to work.
Good morning, everybody. Glad to be here. I'm starting today with, may we each walk forward with open hearts, amplifying in all that we do. This is The Courage to Love Fully by Brené Brown. Love is not a passive experience, it is an act of courage. In a world that often feels divided, uncertain, and filled with noise, choosing love is a radical decision. Love asks us to show with our whole hearts, even when we are afraid, even when we have been hurt before. It requires us to be vulnerable, to lean into the discomfort of not having all the answers, and to trust that our hearts are strong enough to hold both the joy and the pain of real connection. The most powerful truth about love is this: we cannot give it freely to others if we withhold it from ourselves. When we practice self-compassion, when we acknowledge our worthiness without conditions, we create a space for deeper love to flourish in our relationships and our communities. Love is not about perfection, it is about presence. It is about choosing to return again and again to the belief that we belong to each other. As we stand in this truth, we amplify love, not just for ourselves, but for the entire world. Thank you.
And we have another song from Gary Lynn Floyd.
Beloved community, we gather in unity, all are welcome here, all are blessed and blessing to be. Beloved community, where we discover divinity, recovering who we are in our beloved community. It doesn't matter where we come from. It doesn't matter what we've undone. All that matters is we're here now. Keep an open heart. Let the Spirit work it out. Beloved community. We gather in unity. All welcome here. All are blessed and a blessing to be. Beloved community, where we discover divinity, recovering who we are in our beloved community. It doesn't matter where we come from. It doesn't matter what we've undone. All that matters is we're here now. Keep an open heart, let the Spirit work it out. Beloved community, we gather in unity. All are welcome here, all are blessed and a blessing to be. Beloved community, where we discover divinity, recovering who we are in our beloved community. Recovering who we are in our beloved community. Recovering who we are in our beloved community. I love you.
And we're grateful for an inspirational message from Reverend Debbie. Thank you.
Okay, before I start, let me just thank Charlie for being here. Let me thank Dustin for having Charlie be here. He has come back to Minnesota in the cold. Yeah, but he's going to leave us again too, so there's always that. Okay, so a little boy says to his dad, "How much does it cost to get married?" His dad says, "I don't know, son. I'm still paying for it." His mom's in the kitchen and she hears this conversation and she's like, "Let's not forget, love is priceless." And love is priceless, right? It's the power of the universe on full display when we are loving. In fact, that's our whole idea this month, right? That whole question is, what would I love? Not what should I love, but what would I love? What would I love to do? What would I love to be? What would I love to have? What would I love to express into the world? What does my soul, right? That soul where it knows nothing but love. What does that want to show up and play as? That's the question. Ernest Holmes says, love is within us. It cannot be destroyed. It cannot be ignored. It is just us. No deck right now. Love is just, it's the only answer. So many songs. In fact, Paul McCartney did that little song, Just Another Crazy Love Song. I guess somebody was criticizing him for doing nothing but love songs. And he was like, okay, let me just write another one and let me be real about it. Love is just something we can't get enough of. Today, I want us to look at how we amplify our love. Because that is the one thing. That is the one thing that each and every one of us can do. And I think the world is crying for it. We can all amplify our love. Like, just put it out there. So I want to begin with a poem. I looked for my soul, but my soul I could not see. I looked for my God, but my God eluded me. I looked for a friend, and then I found all three. It's short, it's sweet, but it's our truth. That love, that connectivity, that divinity. It's what we're all seeking. And when we start to become our own best friend, then we get to experience it all. Because we can't be a friend to anyone else if we're not willing to be a friend to ourselves. Our main friend. It's easy to seek love outside, right? We're kind of taught that when we're growing up, right? You gotta love your family, love your neighbors. You're gonna start dating. There's all this love stuff that's out there. What we're not taught is how to retain the love of our own divinity that we came into the world with, right? That part of us who played with neighbors, kids, and loved everybody at school and didn't pay attention to the color of their skin or anything else, right? When we get back to that place, from an adult perspective as being our own best friend, then we instinctively know how to be a friend to others. Others that we know, others that we don't know. And I hope that this community, this gathering, this group of individuals, in fact, I don't hope, I know, we are all here to support that friendship and that love, to support that willingness to be authentic and true. The only way we can amplify love is to first start with loving ourselves and being our own best friends. And then allowing our heart to open a little further because we're meant to share it. We're meant to share it with the whole world. And to share it freely without any rules or regulations. That kind of love, when we know it within ourselves and we become willing to share it out there, then that other kind of love that we seek sort of finds us in an own new way. And it takes on a deeper meaning, I believe. Because we are ready to establish a real connection. You know, science and metaphysics agree on one thing, and that's that love has a very high vibration. In fact, I don't know how he did this, Dr. Stephen Hawkins, but he somehow created this scale and he put numbers to everything, and I don't know. I think Jesus ended up with like 1,000 or 10,000 or something, I don't know. But he calibrates love at 500. It's far above fear and anger. It's above pride. It's above ego. It's that sweet spot that we want to get to. And we want to get there because not only does it feel good, right? But mentally and physically, it's important. There's a group called Heart Math Institute. And they have found that when you're feeling love, your electromagnetic field literally increases. It increases. And that good, positive feeling, that vibe you're giving out becomes stronger and bigger. And now you're influencing, so many more. For that reason and that reason alone, let's just keep the love turned on. Not easy. Truly not easy. But we've got to start somewhere, right? We've got to start someplace. So I want to look at this idea of how we can possibly make a commitment to love, become emotionally honest with ourselves. How can we grow beyond our past hurts and take responsibility for our own happiness, our own love? Because Nobody else is going to do it. Nobody else can do it for us. So make a commitment to love. Ernest Holmes. One of the first things to do is to love everybody. If you have not done this, begin to do so at once. There is always more good than bad in people, and seeking the good tends to bring it forth. Love is the grandest healing and drawing power on earth. It is the very reason for our being. It is the sole impulse for creation. No one can swing out into the universe without love, for the whole universe is based on it. Love isn't just a feeling, it's a decision, it's a spiritual practice, it's a way of life. It is a choice to suit up and show up as authentically ourselves, filled with love. And in today's world, making that commitment to love everyone becomes really hard sometimes, right? I mean, there's all this chaos and crazy and news cycles that just sort of thrive on fear. Media kind of like fuels that fear. There's political conflicts, there's social conflicts, there's wars. Oh my God, the list goes on. And it's so easy to get caught up in that chaos. But let's not fall for it. Yes, I'm not saying stick your head in the ground. We've got to be informed. And we've got to be responsible individuals. And we get to have our own opinions. And yet, we can still love everyone. Love from that place of humankind, of knowing that we're cut from the same cloth. Could be completely different ends of that cloth, okay? Trust me, we all have those people in our lives, either personally or out in the world, but they're still cut from that same cloth of the one. As hard as that is sometimes to get your head around, it's the truth. So the idea is to be able to truly connect from that place of love, that this too is a human being with a heart and with a soul and with all of the baggage that comes from being a human being. And if we can't get there with certain people, then we need to acknowledge it. That's where emotional honesty comes into play, right? But we can set an intention to be willing, right? I'm willing to be willing to see the best in everyone, to see that there is a heart that's beating and there's love. Because love is what makes it all happen. I think about Fred Rogers from Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, right? Man, he was like love in action before it was popular, right? And think of all of the things that he did, all of the barriers that he broke. He had black neighbors, and he had brown neighbors, right? And he had neighbors whose parents were getting divorced. In fact, he taught kids how to brush their teeth. I mean, think of all of the things that Mr. Rogers did from that place of love. There wasn't a single topic he wasn't willing to dive into. And he always did it from that place of love, like, welcome to my neighborhood. Tell me about you. I'll tell you about me. Think about it. It was so sweet and innocent because it was all love. He touched so many lives. And we can touch lives just from that place of sweet love and wanting to understand someone better. Brene Brown says, love is not something that we give or get. It's something that we nurture and we grow. And the best way, the fastest way to grow that love is to start sharing it. Because what we give out comes back to us pressed down and multiplied. Think on it. It's all about setting an intention of being willing to see the love and the light in everyone. And if there's someone that you can't do that with, it's being willing to bless them. Just bless them. And at some point, maybe we get there. Maybe we don't. But there are a whole lot more people to love than not love. Holmes has said that behind every individual there is a presence of the divine. They may not be expressing it our way, but there's an expression of the divine and a presence there because of that cloth. And again, to be emotionally honest is to recognize, okay, this is not someone I can love. That's emotional honesty, and it's something that we get to keep within ourselves. And as we become more and more honest with ourselves, as we stop repressing our emotions, as we stop trying to be like what we're supposed to be and who we're supposed to be and all of that, when we start getting real with ourselves about what we're really feeling, then we get to process that. And sometimes that process involves journaling. Sometimes that process involves my favorite, just put it in a balloon and let it go. But whatever it is we need to do, we need to process those emotions, because if we don't, studies have shown that stress-related illnesses, they kind of suit up and show up in our life. It includes anxiety, it includes heart disease, it includes all kinds of gut health things. It's not worth it. It's just not. So if there's something, and we've all got that, some emotions that we're ashamed of, that we're not proud of, we don't want to share with anyone, then don't. But be honest with yourself and share it with yourself. When I first got into this teaching, shame was kind of a big deal for me. And it took me a long time to come to terms with the fact that there were some things I felt shame around. And I didn't have to make a big deal out of it. I just needed to write it down. Then I got to a place where I could put it in that balloon. And then I got to that place where I was okay with the fact that I had it. I didn't need to honor it. But I no longer had to be afraid of it or ashamed of it, because it was just mine for me to deal with. So I'm not saying wear your heart on your sleeve. I'm not saying go out there and take inventory and all of that stuff. What I'm saying is that if we're going to amplify love, we need to become emotionally aware of what we're feeling and address it. And it starts with being honest with ourselves. The definition of a true friend is someone who knows you better than anybody else, and they still want to hang out with you, right? So, if we're going to be our own best friend, it's about knowing ourselves better than anybody else knows us and still wanting to hang out with ourselves. God, it sounds so easy. Don't know why it isn't. Okay. Baggage. Let's talk about baggage, because if we're going to be emotionally honest, there's baggage to get rid of, right? I mean, Holmes said something to the effect of, the only burden we really carry is our own baggage from our own mistakes. But There's really no such thing as a mistake. A mistake is just missing the mark. A mistake is something to learn from. And then do it different. Just like forgiveness isn't about condoning or condemning. Forgiveness is just about, I'm going to be smarter next time. So watch out. Forgiveness is about letting go of the burden and the pain, but keeping the lesson. Oprah Winfrey once shared, forgiveness is giving up the hope that the past could be any different. But it's the past. And that is what got us to right here, right now. To that place where we're willing to say, I bless this mess and I let it go. I bless this person, but yet I release them to their greater good. Because their greater good is not in my head, not in my heart. Their greater good is somewhere far away from me, right? There's that place within us, that place where that still small voice, where that peace, where that love, where that innocence resides, right? When we go to amplify love, it's about letting that peace start to direct us and guide us. It's about bringing that purity forward. Elizabeth Gilbert, I think her whole experience of Eat, Love, Pray is the best possible example I can find of someone who's willing to find her own joy and her own happiness. I don't think that's what she set out to do, but that's what she accomplished. No one can make anyone happy. It's always an inside job. You can support someone's happiness. You can ask what you can do to show them love and joy, but you can't do it for them. But when we start taking responsibility for our own happiness, for our own joy, for our own love of ourselves, then that best friend of ourselves gets to play with us in a really cool way. So love, now is the time to amplify it. Now is probably the hardest time, if you look outside of yourself, to do it. But if we look within, it's the easiest and the best time. It's the right time. It's the right time. Love is that most powerful force, and it all begins with a choice. A choice to commit to love. A choice to be emotionally honest, to grow beyond our past, to let the past be the past, to take responsibility for our own happiness, and then to align ourselves with love, to know that as we raise that frequency, we're doing good for ourselves, we're doing such good for others. It's not easy, especially in a chaotic world, but it's so important for our own individual lives, for our own individualized expression of the divine. The divine. So, this week, I invite you to join me and let's set an intention to be more aware of love. Let's set an intention to be quiet and enjoy our own company. Just enjoy our own company. I think we're all much more loving and much more joyful and much more happy than we think we are. So, get quiet. Spend time with yourself. It's lovely, and it's frightening, and it's peaceful, and it's deafening. But if we do it, and we continue to do it, I can personally tell you, you get to that place where sometimes you only want to keep your own company, just to renew yourself. So, with that, I have a closing quote. Let's see here. I don't have it with me. Closing quote. There you go, Mark Nepo. Enjoy life, enjoy love, and never forget, you get to make a choice every single day. And so it is.
And thank you, Reverend Debbie, for a wonderful message. And we have one more song from Gary Lynn Floyd.
Do you remember you are love at the heart of your being? Do you remember there is more to this life than what you're seeing? Let me remind you, you are beautiful by far. You've nothing left to prove when you remember who you are. If you ever forget, I will help you remember who you are and who you're here to be. Sometimes it's hard to make a way through the dark, but I will see for you and help you remember. Remember who you are. Do you remember there is peace in the middle of this storm? Do you remember you have all you need inside to keep you warm? Let me remind you, you're the dust from the star. Your essence is revealed when you remember who you are. If you ever forget, I will help you remember who you are and who you're here to be. Sometimes it's hard to make a way through the dark, but I will see for you and help you remember. You are stronger than you think you are, braver than you seem. The light that lies ahead of you is like nothing you've ever seen. If you ever forget, I will help you remember who you are and who you're here to be. Sometimes it's hard to make a way through the dark, but I will see for you and help you remember. Remember who you are. Remember who you are. Remember who you are.
Thank you. And this is our moment of conscious giving, where each Sunday we can come together and celebrate the truth together. And our giving enables us to do that, so that we can be here and share together in a tangible way. It helps support the church and its message, and I'm grateful that we can all support the church as we are supporting ourselves. So let's take a moment to affirm what giving is. I know that there is one source within me that is infinite. It is the source of all. And it is the infinite loving life through me as I open myself to give. It uplifts and blesses and prospers, and then it also uplifts and blesses and prospers me. So I gratefully give, and knowing that it is me participating in life expressing through me. And so it is. We are grateful for the givers and we're grateful for the gifts. And if you don't happen to be here with us today, you can also give by texting or you can go to cslminneapolis.org. So we're grateful for all of the substance that flows. A couple of announcements. One thing that's really important for next week, a great opportunity to enjoy some treats. Rose will be here to offer her Girl Scout cookies. Thank you, Rose. Everybody can't wait to get a hold of those. So Rose will be here next week. Reverend Debbie still has an ongoing class on Thursdays, finishing the book, This Thing Called You, by Ernest Holmes. That may continue after this Thursday. We'll wait for Reverend Debbie to announce. But if you have not yet been a part, you can still jump in, look on the website at cslminneapolis.org, and you can join there. What else do we have?
I'm going to interrupt for a second. Okay, what we also have is we've got January and February birthdays because Dee Dee is back. Yay! So make sure to get your cupcakes today. There's that. And for those of you not here in person, sorry. Because they look really, really good. And seriously, on Thursday nights, we're doing an hour and a half. We're doing this thing called You. And if there's an interest, I am willing to keep going and find another book that we can sort of kind of discuss a couple of chapters a week with. So if you've got some interest, let me know. Either email me or see me at the service.
We'll have an announcement next week about May.
Oh, yes. I'm so excited. We're getting close to finalizing a special guest in May all about vibration. She's an international speaker and author, and I'm pretty darn excited about what we're going to come up with. So, more to come, and it's going to be very cool. And it's going to take this concept of a one-day retreat and just put it right through the roof. So, stay tuned.
Will it be on a Saturday?
Yeah.
And every week, this center has a gift for you, which is the gift of prayer. There are many of us here who are practitioners who, if you have a desire for prayer, we would love to meet with you briefly afterwards. You can also go online and submit a prayer request, or you can drop something in the box over there. And how about everybody raise your hand if you are a practitioner, kind of look around. Reverend Debbie, Reverend Joanne, Dee Dee, Sue, and Jeff and myself are all happy. And thank you. You are the best practitioner. You're a direct line. And we would love to do that. It's what we love doing, and we'd love to share that with you. Great. Any other announcements?
Does anybody have a birthday in February? No? Yeah. I was just.
Why, you want to sing?
Huh?
Shall we sing?
Yeah, let's sing. And I know Blake has a birthday in February, but he's in Florida. But
Okay.
We can sing.
Let's all sing.
to Blake.
All right.
Happy
birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to everybody. Happy birthday to you.
Okay, so I will pray us out, and Reverend Joanne will bless us out. And I am so grateful to be able to be here with everybody today. Thank you, everybody. Yeah. So let's know this together. I know that the one infinite presence within me responds and creates exactly according to my thought. This is the infinite creative power with infinite source and substance that moves through me to create a magnificent life in every area of my life. This infinite source brings my desire as its opportunity to express greater well-being, greater life, greater joy, greater peace. And it does this by manifesting in the physical, because this is the completion of creation. And it does this to experience its own joy of creation. So I open myself now to this creative action, knowing that it never goes wrong. It always moves to joy, to love, to peace, and to harmony. And I give thanks for knowing and seeing it expressing in my life in a greater way from this moment forward. And so it is.
May you be at peace. May you know the beauty of your own true nature. May your heart be open. May you be healed. May you be blessed. Namaste.
And after our closing song, please join us for those wonderful cupcakes and coffee. And thank you, everybody, for being here. And here's Gary Lynn Floyd one more time.
It's been so nice being with you again, remembering all the times we've had together. And until next time, until I can see you in person, hopefully one of these days, here's my blessing to you as you go about your week. Love be with you, peace enfold you, spirit lift you, breathe it in. Truth come through you, make good flow to you, and let joy renew you till we meet again. Love be with you. Ooh, love be with you. Yeah, yeah. All together hand in hand, see the light take a stand. We are changing. A whole new life for you and me. Take it past and set it free. Share this blessing. Love be with you. Peace enfold you. Spirit lift you. Breathe it in. Truth come through you. Make good flow to you. Let joy renew you till we meet again. Love be